it. So
Gary, you wanna spotlight yourself here? I don't.
I might as well. What the hell?
Oh, here, I can do it. There you go.
There you go.
All right, so welcome back everybody to another episode of Kicking Ass in Real Estate, brought to you by your friendly neighborhood investor, Patrick Curley, your expert negotiator and deal structure madman, mad scientist. That's what I like to look at him as, Gary Shevitz. We got Mike Mathias here with Matthias, excuse me, with us as well, master integrator and systems engineer, and James French, boots on the ground, a soldier, an ex-soldier of door knocking. Welcome, guys. How you guys doing?
Excellent. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Amazing. Gary, what do you want to, like a marathon of Zooms today?
No, I just dropped in on Kevin to make sure everything was going okay with him. And actually, the number of Zooms I've been on hasn't been too bad. I've been trying to clear space to do some deep work, automating these documents.
Oh, I love that. That means that I'm going to be saving money. Automation always equals saving money. We got 28 people in here right now. I think in the next 15 minutes, we're going to see really what the count is. It's always late knuckleheads to these things. And I know that these links are very hard to find because many of you have been deleted with no warning from Circle. We're working on getting Circle back up, guys. We do. Well, I guess I can apologize.
We're hoping. This could be a little bit constraining.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to communicate with you guys through Circle. So okay, that all being said, we do have a random hand up. I think we can get to that in a second. One of the things that I wanted to do today,
guys,
want
to start with questions, or did you want to start with the program today?
Actually, let's get this out of the way. Let's talk to Marco real quick.
Okay, let's get Marco out of the way, huh?
Marco, what's up, man? What do you got for us?
Hey there, can you hear me?
I got you
loud and clear.
Awesome. Yeah, I just wanted to put my hand up because I was in the other Zoom before this one with Kevin, and I know Gary said something about the groups, or there was something mentioned about the groups, like check them out and all that. And I just wanted to right away come out with that because I did go on one Zoom before Kevin's couple of days ago, which was the Dumble Dial or something like that.
Dumble Dial with Mike and Dawn.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm fresh. I'm new to this, and I'm fresh off of the challenge, the October challenge, and literally all I had, like all I could recall was that to buy privy, to choose a market that's growing and landlord friendly, and that's pretty much it. And they told me that it kind of sucks because there was no real depth in it. And what they were focused on was more like sub-2 deals and like just talking to people on the phone. So I want to know what kind of...
Hence Dumbo Dial. The dial.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Could get interruption on dialing.
Yeah, and we're going to be talking about that today. And so, Marco, regardless of what you choose to focus on in terms of target, what kind of seller you're going after, what kind of agent you're going after, the number one metric that's going to be super important, that's going to move the needle on your businesses, guys. And I want you guys to write this down. Don't just come here to listen, guys. This is not TV. I can see all of you. All right. I want you to engage and get something out of this. It's conversations, guys. The one thing that I want you to keep track of, in fact, I'm going to ask you guys right now, out of all of you here, out of the 31 participants, and we're still populating in here, how many of you guys have made calls in the last week? Yes or no in the chat right now. Let's take a look. Okay. I know Dylan has. We're about to close on one. Jason Lee, of course you have. You're always taking action.
James and I even went to visit a seller this weekend.
Yeah, and that was a lot of fun.
Well, trying to sort out what the situation there is.
Okay, so a lot of yeses. Now what I want to know is how many calls did you actually make in the past week? And if you don't know how many calls, say I don't know. I want to know how many calls did you guys make in the past week in the chat. Let me know. Type it in there, guys. Come on, wake up. You got an hour and a half with me. 8, 15, 15. 89. Wow, Zoom user, please change your name to your actual name so I can hire you for my team. That's a lot of calls.
We got two of them, 2 ZUs in here.
Nat, about 10.
Guys, if you log into your Zoom account and you have a name in your Zoom account, you don't have to worry about coming up as Zoom user.
Okay, now last question that I'm going to ask you guys. How many calls do you think you need to make to close 2 deals in a month? I'm assuming all of you guys are here to make money, right? Maybe there's a couple of you who just like to hang out with Gary. How many calls do you need to make, guys, in the chat? 100 calls, 200 calls, more. Good. 100 plus 200, 320, 300, or excuse me, 100, 300. Good. So I would say you got to make about 215 calls, guys, to get 2 deals closed. Okay, that's not LOI sent. That's not getting under contract. That's from start to finish. That's how many calls you guys should be making. Okay, now, if you're in here right now, you're probably pretty motivated to make money because you're showing up, and that's part of the battle, right? But look back at how many calls you're actually making and get real with yourself. Start to break this up and dissect it, guys. Once you do that and you're very clear on what your target is, you're going to have more motivation every day to do what you're supposed to do. Every time I talk to somebody and they're like, I'm just not motivated, I go, okay, well, what's your goal? This coincides 100% of the time, guys. They say, oh, I don't know, or they have a very vague goal. They haven't really given themselves permission and a goal that's worth going after, and they haven't figured out how much action they have to take, and they haven't dissected it into small pieces to tackle it. That's it. That's the formula for success, guys. I just gave it to you. So in the chat, last thing I'm going to ask you right now, what's the most important metric you need to be tracking? In the chat, guys. There we go. We got people. Okay, I think they're awake, Gary. I think they're paying attention.
Starting to sink in.
It's starting to sink in. Conversations, guys. Conversations. All right.
So how many times you have to dial the phone to have 200 conversations?
That's a good question. Depends on when you're dialing.
Are you tracking that metric yet?
I am. You want to see it?
Sure.
It's going to blow you away. Hopefully I don't have anything incriminating on my...
Well, the fact that you did it already blows me away.
So we track everything, guys. We track how many contacts are getting tagged in our system.
I'm seeing a lot of freaking zeros and ones here. What this is brand new, huh?
Yeah, we just rolled this out. But basically how many calls were made, how many connections were made, the average talk time. We're also going to be tracking how many LOIs have been sent.
Are you getting that? Are you using a new dialer?
Nope, we're using Go High Level, but
you're getting these metrics from that.
We're basically using a combination of native integrations in Python to do it.
Okay.
Now, guys, you don't necessarily need to do that, but what you need to know is how many calls you're making, how many connections you're making, conversations. How many conversations are you having on a daily basis? That is the one metric that no matter where you are in your business, you should be tracking, guys. And if you can look back and you can say, I've had 200 conversations in the last month, you will have money in your account. Really, generating leads, guys, generating interest is the easy part. Passing it over to a closer, that's easy. We handle all the hard stuff for you guys, so you guys can make money quickly and decide of whether or not you want to join a team or if you want to do this on your own.
Well, in order to support 215 conversations, you probably need 3 to 4 times as many dials of the phone.
Yep. It just depends on when you're calling. I agree. Okay. So now, Marco, every group is different. We kind of go off on, certain subjects sometimes. What I'm going to put in the chat for you right now, I know you're on your phone, but hopefully you can navigate this, is I'm going to put some videos that if you haven't already watched these, watch these. These will get you up to speed with everything that we've talked about. There's also scripts and lists inside of this opt-in. Please read through all that information. If you're going to take leads from our list, we expect you to work with us. All right. Now, if you don't, for whatever reason, you're not vibing with us, that's totally cool, man. We'll still help you out and you can still work with other elephant leaders. We're here to get you guys your first deal and to get you your next deal. Okay. So I'm going to put this in the chat for you. Take a look. Any other questions for us, Marco?
Yeah, so that's exactly what I wanted to kind of know is like, because I could like I'll get on calls, like I don't know nothing, like even me knowing nothing, like I've already just made a call just because I got frustrated. Like you said, don't just be watching TV, right? So I got frustrated and I just looked up on Redfin a property that looked beat up, and I just wanted to talk to an agent, so I just called and I just like, hey, just to at least get a feel for it, even though I don't know what's gonna happen after that, But
That's great to hear. So you're not sitting there in fear. You're taking action. Ask James, he can tell you, right? It's what it's all about.
Absolutely. It's the best way to learn. Like, people can tell you all you want, but I mean, you learn the best by going out, making those mistakes, having those conversations. Like, it's by far the best thing. Like, just keep that up. Like, you'll learn so much faster and you'll get so much more confidence, and your learning ability just grows and grows. I mean, it's so much better than like sitting back and taking all this in and then going out and creating the actions, and then you still got to ask questions, right? Because you're still going to have questions. It's better to just start doing it, and then that way you understand it, and then better questions will come up because of the conversations.
Right.
for sure.
And go ahead.
That's why I'm like, so you guys are gonna be able to like, after like, say I talk to an agent and they're like, oh yes, we're kind of interested in what you're saying and what you have to offer, like, so you guys are there too, and then I could just pass it over, like pretty much I'm just like knocking on the door, asking for like,
Bro, you're the
they wanna,
quarterback, dude.
what's up?
Correct.
I said you're the quarterback. You're passing it on.
All right, for sure, yeah, because that's what I want. Like if I could do that, then that's like a big load off my back, because I thought I was gonna have to, like, I'm trying to see what the next thing is. I like, if they tell me yes, I don't even know what I do next. Like, what, grab a contract, right? But then what do I do with that contract? Like, who do I take it to? Like, or what? Like,
No. Take it one step at a time, Marco. Right. And so here's the last thing I want to say, and then we're going to get to some other questions. You can choose to look and interpret anything that happens in your life any way you want to. So you can, if an agent or a seller shits on you, you can hang up the phone and get frustrated, or you can say to yourself, what could I have done better? What could I have done differently? Am I working off something like a script? Do I have those resources? Did I follow the script? Those are the things that you want to ask yourself, right? So again, you can look at it any way you want. It could either empower you or disempower you. I'm a huge fan of getting better and learning from all of the actions that I take. Look, you didn't, when you were born, you didn't know how to ride a bike, but you fell and you figured it out, right? It's just like anything. You just got to get back on the bike and start pedaling and ask yourself, how can I get better? So check out those links that I just put into the chat. One of them is join the team and get scripts and lists. Read over that. That'll explain it all to you. But all you have to do, all your job is, and I'm going to go into this detail later, is identify motivated leads and then submit them into our form. Okay.
okay, and that forum is on those links.
In those links.
Awesome. I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Of course, Marco.
Great questions, Marco. Thanks. And Nat is both a sub-2 student and an elephant tamer here.
Nat, are you a sub-2 student?
Yeah, Nat's a...
Yes, I'm sub-2.
Oh,
yes.
I didn't know that. Cool, man.
Hi, Patrick. Hi, Gary. Hi, everybody. Yes,
Nat.
James. I have a question. A few questions. I talked to an agent and she said that the conventional loan was not assumable. I doubt. Is that correct?
Yeah, most are not.
Okay. And so let's confirm with
Are we
you.
talking about traditional? Or are we talking about
Traditional
non-
assumption, assumable by qualified assumption, most conventional loans are not assumable. Most or many, if not most, VA loans are assumable. Qualified assumptions, you can sub to anything.
Okay.
All right.
And so the VA and
So
FHA.
in this situation, Nat, let me give you something that's useful and very simple to remember. You want to say, oh, that's interesting. Well, the way that my partner's doing it, they actually do this all the time. Now, I don't handle the transactions, but I know my partner knows a lot about that. I'd love to book a call with you if you're free to chat with them, because we're literally picking these up every week. What's your general availability look like? And then you pass it over.
Okay. And
Yes,
this particular.
most agents do not know anything about sub two. They just don't. And half of them will say, once you try to explain it to them, isn't that illegal? Then you're going to have to walk them down it's not illegal. And then you'll get the idiot or two that'll like, well, it's immoral. It's like,
Right.
I
So
don't think
today
the Bible says anything about sub two.
Yeah, I have an agent on my team. And so Chelsea, actually, Better Home and Gardens. And so we literally just had this conversation about an hour ago. The broker sent out this, brokerage wide email. And I guess they do this every quarter or whatever. And they talk about specific topics. And subject 2 was the topic they were talking about. And essentially they were saying, it's going to be bad for you legally if you accept one of these offers and it's not on a car form, which is a real estate document in California, guys. And all this other information that was actually misinformation after she read it to me.
Well, I agree with that part of it, that if it's bad for them, if it's not on car form.
Right. And that's actually something to know. And that's something to be aware of. And so when an agent says that to me, I say, oh, I have no problem putting it on your documents. Whatever, with escrow officers and agents, if they bring up any concerns about covering their own ass, I'm always like, I want everything to be above board. So if whatever you want, I want to navigate that so it checks those boxes for you, right? But the point here that I'm trying to make, guys, is that this is becoming a little bit more well-known. And in some brokerages, it's whatever, a stigma, for lack of a better word. And they're spreading kind of like misinformation about some of this stuff. So be aware of that. And going back to what I said, just know, look, we're doing these transactions all the time. And we're more than happy to work with you on this if you want to continue the conversation. Does that help, Nat?
Yes, thank you. And for this particular agent, she said, okay, so are you talking about creative financing or something like that, sub two? And then I just said, we like to assume a loan. And then she was kind of confused. She said that, and then that's why she said that, okay.
Well, technically sub two is an assumption. It's just a non-qualified assumption. We're not going to the bank and getting the bank's permission. That's what that means by non-qualified. And the truth is, most loans are not assumable through the qualified method. Some are, some FHA, some VA loans are assumable, but that requires you to go and qualify with the bank. Sub two is not doing that. Okay. It's the difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the last thing I would say, Nat, is like, I don't typically say creative finance to an agent, but if they bring it up, then they definitely have heard the phrase before. And so if they know they've made that connection, then I'll say, yeah, we refer to it as creative finance. But what Gary said is the actual term that you would want to use.
Oh, okay. And I have another agent. I forgot. I don't know if I submitted the deal or not, but she said that the seller would be open to assuming the loan, and she is in the process of getting paperwork from the lender.
Yeah, well, that's not a sub two.
It's not a sub two.
That's not sub two.
So we can't do that. I think I submitted
We
that.
can
Well,
if
you
you-
can, yeah.
If it's explained right. What state is it in? Is it off the list that we gave you, Nat?
Yes, yes.
Okay, what state is it in?
Last week, her last name is
No, but
I
what
don't need her name. I'm
state?
just
What
curious if
state?
it's a state.
What state is the property?
Florida.
All right, well,
We really like those Florida
she may not, the agent may reach out to the lender and find out it's non-assumable.
Yep.
She says it was okay. Then she'd like to get the paperwork or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I forgot.
That's okay. Look,
Yeah.
if she's easy to talk to, I'll be more than happy to call her and explain it to her. But
Yeah.
one thing that you might want to start saying is, non-qualified loan assumption.
Okay. Okay. And
And half the agents you talk to won't even understand that, so.
Yeah, right. But Nat also just mentioned, like, look, we're doing these all the time. We run them through escrow, so it's completely legal and above board.
okay.
Because they're going to be
And,
like, this sounds like a scam. If they say something like that, just be like, well, we're using title and escrow. We can give you that information. My partner can show you that these are licensed individuals who are executing these transactions. And I've got a list of escrow officers that can handle them in every single place that we're buying.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. And I have one more quick question. How do I think I don't know. I missed the last Thursday's action taker Zoom, and I'm trying to find the videos to watch, but I couldn't. And I tried to communicate with you and Mike through, but I wasn't able to be in contact with you. So how do I contact with you during the week? Let's say
I'll shoot you guys an email about, because I actually think I shot you an email, but I'll shoot you an email and text. We're going to be switching over sub accounts in the CRM. So if you text me on that number, I may or may not text you back. It's not personal, guys. I'm just really busy.
okay.
We're going to tighten up our communication. We're going to be improving how we communicate about these deals with you guys once we have a sub account that's separate from my other business. But this Thursday, guys, I'm not going to be doing the action taker meetings. I apologize, but there's a lot of things that I need to work on in both of the businesses. So I'm going to be pushing that to next Thursday. If you're new or you don't know what the action taker meetings are, follow that opt-in link. You can upload your recorded calls, or if you submit a deal, we will send you that link. Okay. We're letting people into these meetings who are actually taking action. All right. And Nat, before I let you go, I'm still working on getting that contract in Florida. Okay. The seller and the agent have both given me a yes. It's just a matter of getting a ratified contract. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Keep doing work, man. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Nat.
Thank you. Gary.
See ya.
Wally, welcome back.
Wally,
What's up,
Wally.
dude?
How's it going?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Good, man. Hey, I was on the phone today and I talked to an agent in Texas on a conventional. I don't know how to underwrite it, and so I was just kind of getting some information from him. He kind of understood Sub 2, and I guess some have pitched it to him already, but it didn't. I guess they weren't that needy, but he's willing to jump on a call, so I
Okay.
submitted the deal.
Okay. You submitted it.
Yeah, it was like
All right.
at 12:30 today, but
Why don't we'll take a look at it in a moment here after we go through these questions, and I'll underwrite it for you.
perfect. And I was just wanting to kind of see, I got his time range already, so when he's available, he's on Central Time, so
Cool.
it's on there. So
You don't mind us going through all the details on the Zoom?
go, yeah, I got a video on there too. I emailed you the video because I didn't know how to upload it.
Oh, awesome. Cool. Okay. So you're good with me going through all that.
Yeah, do everything.
All right. We'll do it in a little bit here.
Cool.
Appreciate you, man.
Oh, okay, who's next up here?
Edwell, what's up?
Hi, Patrick and Gary. I submitted a couple of deals yesterday for the first time, so I don't know if I hope I did it right.
Awesome.
Just was wondering when could I expect to hear from you, or what's the next process, or next step in the process, I mean.
Mike, you want to answer that? Give him
Yeah.
an answer with attitude, bro.
Oh no, we're going through them on a regular basis. and
When I
our plan
get
is-
around to it, that's when. No, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
And we're damn well ready. No, we're gonna go through the pipeline and clean it up before tomorrow morning. So it's likely that we'll be able to answer that today, if not
Okay.
first thing in the morning. So
Okay.
yeah, just a
So
little bit of
just so you
underwriting
guys know-
process we'll go through, and we'll email you via the email that you put into the form.
I appreciate it. Again, first time I just didn't know if I did it right. So thank
No,
you.
We'll take a look soon.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we meet every Monday and Thursday to go over the pipeline.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yes, sir. All right. Okay, 30 minutes in. Any questions, guys? Okay, good, because I actually got to make a phone call. Before I do, I want to briefly go over what it is that you should be focusing on your calls. Where the hell is my... Hold on one second, guys. I'm just
Are
trying to
you
find...
making a phone call in the Zoom meeting or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Where the heck is my whiteboard?
Well,
Oh.
where the hell did you leave it?
Oh, there it is. How did I get over there?
Oh, there it is, floating around the room somewhere in cyberspace.
Yeah, I was like, it was in a really weird position. I couldn't grab it. All right, guys. So when it comes to making these calls, oh, come on. What we want to do is we want to hit specific pillars. So condition. And really the biggest two things are roof and foundation. Right. So I just want to know that there's no major issues. And most of these low equity deals that we're calling on, they're usually rent ready. They usually have very low maintenance or problems with it. The next is occupancy. If you're calling on our list, most of them are, well, actually it depends, but we want to know, is it vacant or not? Or delivered vacant. Because we don't want a tenant that's not going to pay us, or we don't want a situation where we have to foreclose on them because they're not getting out, or excuse me, evict them because they're not getting out. We want to make sure that's delivered vacant. Now, this isn't always the case, though. Sometimes if there's tenants and they're performing, meaning they're paying rent, I'll take them. Like I've got one in Sacramento that I'm working on right now, and they've got tenants in there. And I'm going to leave them in place. We're going to sign a lease and we're done. We're going to close the transaction. Okay. What else do we have? We have condition, occupancy, timeline. And for this, it is important. With cash deals, I think it's more important. But with creative deals, generally what you're going to see is like, they're going to stay on market for quite some time, like 60 days on market. So this is kind of like a redundant question, or not a redundant question, but an obvious question. When do you want to close escrow? I'll usually say it like, well, it looks like this has been on market for 60 days. I'm assuming your sellers want to close escrow as soon as possible. And then they'll be like, oh yeah, they want an offer ASAP. And I'll be like, okay, great. After timeline, we have, oh, actually I skipped one. The most important one, motivation. And by the way, guys, I actually like to hit this in this order. Okay. I like to go from condition, occupancy to motivation. This one is a weird one, guys. It's actually, if not asked right, it can kind of rub the agent the wrong way or the seller the wrong way. And also, break rapport if it's not asked correctly. So usually what I'll do is I'll act kind of dumb. And I'll say, this is an interesting looking property. I'm just curious. Why are you selling? I just want to know why. And why is that important? Well, this is going to give us more information on exit strategy. Meaning, well, if it's owner occupied and they're just looking to downgrade or upgrade, that's not a high level of motivation, right? They're probably not going to say yes to a creative deal in that case. Right. So I really want to know that there's some type of motivation. This sub 2 that I'm closing on this Friday, the guy's desperate for cash, needs cash in a hurry, right? Really, really needs cash. He's broke. He had to sell his wife's car. Okay. You got to sell your wife's car. you're dealing with some serious heat from that woman, right? I would imagine. So he's super motivated. Okay. All right. And the last one is price. So now what we want to ask them, are you firm? Or is there room on that price? And with creative deals, I actually don't really do that this much. I generally go into equity at this point if I'm talking about creative terms. So I'll say something like, okay, well, I see you have this price at $550. Your seller would be happy if they walked away with $550 today. Actually, let's do this for even math. Say 500. Yeah, they'd be happy with 550. Okay, cool. So the 550, it looks like after we sell, gross proceeds would be around 450. There's a loan here for 425. So it looks like there's about 25K of equity. Well, I'd be more than happy to pay this out and commissions plus closing costs if you allow me to assume the loan. And that's going to be the end of that. That's how I would address that. Okay, so again, whether you're doing cash or creative, you need to know these pillars, right? Condition, occupancy, motivation, timeline, price. Really, really important. Now, if you don't have these, and by the way, if you've already submitted a deal in our form, you may have noticed that we require those. We require those pieces of information. Why? Well, it's not a qualified lead until you have all those pieces of information. So whether you're going to continue, focus on creative deals or go after cash wholesale deals, if you don't have the 5 pillars, you don't have anything. And that's how we run it in our business too. With our acquisitions guys, they don't get to submit a lead to us until they have all this information. And they've got a general idea of, what the transaction is going to look like in terms of condition, motivation, pictures, so on and so forth. Cool. Okay. Does that all make sense, guys? Any questions? And those of you who are Mike and Gary and James, any questions in the chat, just let me know.
Well, we're good. We're handling it. Mike's on it, and
Alexis,
some of them are
not
ones
pertaining
I
to what you're
can't
talking about.
answer.
Alexis, do you have a question about what we're talking about right now?
Not this particular one. I have another question.
Okay, we're gonna hold that question then, okay?
Okay.
Appreciate you. We'll get back to you at the end of this thing. All right. No questions on that, guys. Pretty straightforward. You guys are already experts. I freaking love that. All right, give me 1 second. I'm gonna go to my pipeline here and I'm gonna make a phone call. Just one moment here. We need like hold music while I do this.
Yeah, right.
So
Maybe James could do a soft shoe act for us. Do you break dance, buddy?
No pressure.
No, nothing. Okay.
All right. This was, let's see. Where is it?
You had this really well queued up, huh?
Oh, here it is. I'm just trying to figure out her name. And I didn't, you're
Hey,
right.
you. Hey, you.
I didn't have a lot of, actually, I did not make
Yeah,
time.
it's so personal on the phone. Hey, you.
All right. This person's name is.
Gives you the warm and fuzzies.
Virginia, that's right. Okay. Virginia Hernandez. All right, let me give this person a call. I told her I'd call her at this time. Hey, Virginia, this is Patrick Curley. How are you?
I'm doing great, Patrick. I'm just not interested in your program, but I'm curious to know how it works. I think from what Lina was saying, and see if I got it right, you guys take on you assume the loan in a sense, right? You assume the current loan, but you guys transfer title to your name.
Yeah, so I'm not quite sure what you mean by program. This is a transaction that's been used for like almost a century now. So we're just a company. I'm buying properties. Actually, I'm closing on another one 20 minutes away from that location. So the way that this would work is we would create what's called a note and deed of trust. So this is very similar to a mortgage. It acts the exact same way. Well, I should say similar. And this is what would secure your seller in this transaction. The reason that we're doing so many of these right now, as you already know, the interest rates are higher than they've been in quite some time. And a lot of these properties are.
FHA, they can assume an FHA loan. I can get a buyer that will assume their loan, which would be better. That way it comes off their name.
Yeah, you could. It's just a matter of whether or not that's going to happen.
Well, I mean, because yeah, I'm still not sure why I would want to put my sellers through this where they would still, in a sense, be liable.
Well, so with a deed of trust, they would have a security instrument against us in the case that any payments were not made. So they would be secured in the transaction. There's risks in all these transactions. Now, you know, you're 100% correct in terms of what's on the table. What I can say is that my partners and I, we own a large company. We have, at this point, hundreds of doors under our company. I can send over some company information and I can show you a long track record of how we've performed with sellers. We even have testimonials. We have our own, lawyers and escrow officers that are all licensed individuals that carry out these transactions. So when you use the words go through, I don't know why would my seller want to go through this. It's actually pretty fast. In fact, the property that I'm closing on in Palmdale right now, we're closing in less than a week.
What if you guys skip town, right? Let's just say the market goes down to a point where 2008, where are you going to be?
Well, I'm going to hold on to the property for at least 5 years. And the reason that we're purchasing this, just so you know, is for tax depreciation.
That in the contract?
It wouldn't, but let me explain why we wouldn't do that. For us, we want to take anywhere from an accelerated 5 to 7 years of tax depreciation in our first year. And in order for me to do that, I've got to hold on to the property for at least 5 years or Uncle Sam is going to come knocking. Now, if we take a look at our spreadsheet and we pull this out, this actually isn't going to be a huge cash flowing property. But again, that's not why we're buying it. We're buying it for tax depreciation.
Patrick, I'm so sorry, but I've been in the business 20 years. I've heard of that, that type of program years ago. But I just, it failed then in a sense, and I think it would fail now. The only difference right now is because interest rates are higher. But we got a couple of programs that I've been really, going through, like, again, the assumption is one of them.
Yeah, I just want to make one thing clear because you keep using the word program. This isn't a program. This would be an offer coming straight from my company to you and your seller. And then it would go through escrow and a title company. So it's all above board.
I guess because it's just so new, or in other words, this new, subject to. I guess I would want to ask you is there anything you can share in writing? I'd like to consult with my attorneys and make sure this would be something that I could even throw out there to my sellers, because I would need to understand it before I could even suggest it.
That makes total sense. And really my only goal of this conversation, Virginia, is to continue the conversation. Like I mentioned, I have an agent, we have a lawyer. We would be more than happy to send all that information over to you so that, number one, you can fully understand it and be confident conveying that to your seller. And number two, that everybody's comfortable with that type of transaction.
If you don't mind sending me something, Patrick, what do you guys have that would be something simple that I can just review with my attorney or at least get some feedback from somebody that might understand the program? Is there anything you could share with me?
Yeah, I could send you like a simple email breaking down how the transaction works.
Okay, that would be awesome.
Awesome.
Let me give you my email address.
Okay. Actually, you know what would be great? Because I'm actually kind of walking around my office right now. Can you just shoot me a text with your email?
Search the 650 number?
That's correct.
Okay, I'll send you my business card.
Awesome.
Okay, thanks, Patrick.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
I'm just curious, do you live in Palmdale?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
This is a referral business, so I do very little in Palmdale, but I sold a few properties in Palmdale. The drive for me is an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, wow, that's quite a drive.
Yeah, it's quite a drive, but this is a, special, case. I didn't want to work the area anymore, but this one was a referral, an important referral, that I'm trying to work through and make, I'm sure we're gonna be okay. But this program might not be for this family necessarily, but it'd be good to understand it. If I do come up with something that might fit the criteria, I wouldn't have a problem maybe tapping into that system or program or whatever you want to call it, financing.
Right.
But
Okay.
I think I have to learn it first. I'm the kind that I have to learn it to the point where I can, I don't need any notes. I know what I'm talking about. It flows. People understand it. They can trust in me that it's a good program, etc.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah. So send me what you can. Let me review it. I mean, I've heard of the, what do you call it? The deed of trust?
Yeah, we would create a note that's secured by deed of trust. Uh-huh.
Deed of trust, yeah. So I've heard of that back in the day, but I've never worked anything like it. So again, I'd like to educate myself first. So send me what you can, and I will right now send you my business card.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much for your time. I do appreciate it.
Thank you, Patrick. Take care.
You too. Bye now.
Now, Patrick.
That was really faint. Did you guys hear any of that?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, loud and clear.
Patrick, why don't you have your partner Gary call her? Realtor to realtor.
I would love it. That's
Um,
why they call you the unicorn.
Well, it's a lot easier for me to explain it to her as another realtor, because I can tell her which forms, how it's structured, what the moving parts are, and hearing it from another agent, I've been able to flip plenty of realtors into at least understanding. I can't predict what their broker's going to say,
Yeah.
because I can get the agent on board and then the broker will say, no, we're not doing that. And I'm like, let me talk to your broker. No, please don't.
Yeah, right.
Well,
I've played that card a few times actually myself.
they just don't want the broker pissed at them.
Right, exactly. All right, guys, what did you guys get out of that conversation? I want to talk to some of you guys. Was that scary? Ooh, I talked to an agent just now. Guys,
So
Come on,
bad.
mop up the sweat off your brow, Patrick.
any questions? Any questions, guys? Any comments? No? Are you guys just like smoke coming out of the ears? Holy cow, what just happened?
Maybe 'cause you
Dylan-
can't
You guys
tell
notice-
it's smooth.
Dylan,
You guys-
Dylan's got
Dylan has a question. Let's pull him
Dylan
up.
stands up. I can't, why am I having such a problem here?
Dylan, are you going to come over and drink margaritas with me when I close on this property in Palmdale? Where do you live?
And just for a point of note, Palmdale is an hour, 20 minutes from anywhere significant,
There is a Safeway nearby, or a Vons, or whatever they call it. What's up, dude?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna ask you about the margaritas and the tacos.
It's happening, bro. It's happening.
Yummy.
Yeah, I'm excited. Congratulations.
Thanks, bro. Yeah.
I guess my question was gonna be about so if like one of our rebuttals is gonna be sending company information, what we just send the email or the website, or what do we send them?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, at that point, what I would say is my partner can provide all that information for you. If you're interested in learning more, I'd be more than happy to put you on his calendar. What's your general availability? I think in the future, we will give you guys these packets so that you can send it out on behalf of us. But for now, just say, oh yeah, my partner would love to send you company information.
Yeah, I understand.
And right now, in California, I'm doing business as Cash Ready Homes. So if you are, and then outside of California, we're doing business as Sunbelt Home Solution. Cool.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
We're slowly dialing things in, dude. We're gonna be giving you guys a lot more resources as we kind of develop this whole thing.
For sure.
Cool. Can't wait to see you for some margaritas, bro.
Patrick, could you dive a little deeper into the notes secured by a deed of trust and how that logistically works?
I'm gonna let Gary do that.
Yeah, so it's
Because I'm not
actually
doing-
not just a deed of trust. It's called an all-inclusive deed of trust, or AIDT. And essentially what this is, what we use to wrap an existing mortgage. Okay, so what's a wrap? It's a wraparound. So all it is we got the original first position deed of trust, and we're going to put an all-inclusive deed of trust around that. Now that wrap could also be wrapping a seller finance portion, a hybrid. But most of the time when I'm doing these transactions, I'm doing what's called a mirror wrap, meaning the all-inclusive deed of trust has the exact same terms as the original loan. And what this does is that the seller has a secured position. So the seller, if you stop making payments, not only can the bank foreclose, but the seller can foreclose and take the property back. Does that make sense, everybody? We're getting technical now. We're getting real technical.
Yeah, and so, you know, I think Mike's asking that question because he's genuinely interested, and for most of you guys, really, you want to get good at, number one, just making calls and being consistent. That is literally the only thing you should be focusing on right now. Because guys, I closed my first seller finance deal, and I didn't fully understand how it worked. But you know what I focused on, guys? I focused on learning enough to be able to communicate that to the seller, and then having somebody who actually knew how the transaction worked and the paperwork worked and had the cash to actually close the transaction. So I focused my attention on generating leads in the beginning of my career. And that's what you guys should be doing too. Okay. So really, again, don't get too caught up in this stuff. Just know that you want to be getting to a point where you're gauging motivation and being able to pass that on to somebody who can close.
Your first one was Eureka, right?
No, it was a seller finance deal in Fairfield.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but that's what I would focus on, guys. So, but it's a great question.
Your first sub to was Eureka.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I want somebody in here to make a call. Or if somebody has something they want me to call on, I'll do that as well. But I want this Zoom today to be about action, guys. All this, I don't want fluff. I want you guys to get out there and sink your teeth into something. Guys, don't send me DMs, please. Just put it in the chat so everybody can see it, because I'm not going to see it. Okay. Any questions on this, guys? I want to hear somebody make a phone call.
Oh.
Who in here wants to make a call? That's not on the panel. Guys, come on.
Come on,
Nobody?
this is your time.
You've been making calls. You have us now live to give you feedback, guys. And we might.
You want me to call your agent? A
I
little
would
too,
love to
little
hear
too
that,
soon,
though.
huh? A little too soon.
Hey, Patrick, can you listen to that 10-minute video that I did with the call earlier or no? For the agent?
Yeah, you gotta, he can share it, but you gotta make sure you share your audio.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
Who is that? Who's talking?
Wally.
Wally. Oh, okay. Yeah, you can, I don't have restrictions on this. You have to do the screen share, but you have to share your audio.
Guys, while he's figuring that out, I want you guys to come to these meetings with people to call. Okay. I want you guys to actually come prepared to these meetings, ready to call people, either sellers or agent, guys. Sellers or agents. That's the only thing that's going to make you guys money is conversations.
Yeah, you have to share the system audio, Wally. Are you having issues?
Yeah.
Share your screen and
It's like a 10-minute call. So.
well, if we get sick of it, we'll tell you cut it. We'll go.
All right. All right, sounds good. So the basic, advanced, and file apps on top, what do I open?
Well, you go down to the bottom of the Zoom screen. It says share screen.
Yeah,
Okay.
it says open system preferences. I don't know what that means.
Go ahead and open them. Does it say share system audio? Yeah, share screen. I mean, share. Look, just go to the share screen. Just click the share screen button. It'll open up a selector window down at the bottom. It says share sound.
Yes.
Pick that box. Okay.
All right, I did that.
All right, then play. I'm not seeing your screen. You just you hit the share screen, tick the share sound box, and then click the share over on the right. And that should share your whole screen.
Jordan Ramirez, are you ready to actually make a call? And the deal that you submitted wasn't necessarily a bad deal. It just doesn't cash flow, and it's more for an end user.
Are you good with this, Wally?
I decided to pass on the and.
What's that?
Are
I mean,
you
I uploaded to the email that you guys
all
responded
right?
to.
But are you? Can you? Do you want to play your call or not?
Yeah, I mean, I can, but
All
I
right.
still know
Click the share screen. Then click the share sound, and then over on the right, click the share button.
Yeah, I think it's just a new computer. It says open system preferences, and then I don't know where to go from there.
All right,
It's
well-
not just letting you share.
No.
All right, we'll save it for another day.
All right.
All right, guys. Anybody here want to make a call? Guys, you guys gotta take action. We have a list. Mike, do you want to share that with them or show them the list?
Yeah, you want me to drop a link directly to it or just
No.
flash it?
Actually, share your screen and just show them where to find these.
Sure. Yeah, here.
I'm gonna put the link in the chat, guys. If you haven't already opted in, where it says join our team, scripts and lists, you guys can actually get this information, what he's about to show you guys.
Yes, and the link Patrick's going to drop, it'll drop you to this Google Doc that's shared. Everyone should have access to this. And this call lists active listings here. There's a brand new list that we just pulled active listings today in this 1018 drop. So you can go in there and we have 3 different categories. There's sub 2 creative deals. There's hybrid opportunities and then properties that are on the market that are owned free and clear. And they're all untouched and ready to be dialed on.
This takes so
So
much
I have a question.
together, guys. Give Mike some love in the chat. Who has a question? Raise your hand.
Nice job.
Me, Marco.
Marco, what's up,
Yeah.
dude? You're on mute, bro.
So on the list, can you hear me?
Yep.
So on that list, it shows what I'm supposed to know as a caller, like what to offer, like the offer.
No, if you go in the scripts, you opt in, we provide you with scripts as to like what to say. Basically, you're just trying to gauge if whether or not they're actually interested.
Okay, I'm sorry because from the little that I know of whatever, like the wholesaling thing, it's like I guess the little what headspace I'm in is that I look for a house that's beat up and offer less than what they're selling it for, and then try to get it at that price, at a lesser price.
Yep, that's correct. Do me a favor, Marco. The videos that I sent you, do you have those copied to your computer?
Yeah, I took a screenshot because I'm working. I'm on the phone right now. I'm listening to you guys while I'm working.
Watch those videos because like you need to get those will catch you up to speed because you have either creative or you've got cash wholesale deals. And so for cash wholesale deals, where I mean we'll still help you guys out with them. We're not really as focused on those in these meetings. But if it's in California and you've got like an actual decent looking deal, I can help you move it.
For sure. Yeah, well, I mean, I live in California. I live in East LA, so I don't know if I can start looking here and stuff like that. But
Your audio.
I'll watch the videos, man. I'm just like, I'll go ahead and watch the videos then. It's just,
Perfect.
yeah, I just wanted to know because this, just like I said, I'm first time on here, so I wasn't
Yeah,
sure if
watch
the
watch
videos
my
covered
wholesaling
that or not.
video if you're interested in wholesaling, how to get started with wholesaling. That video, I break it down, bro. I break down how we make a lot of cash in California, and I got people in LA, by the way, as well.
Awesome. All right, I'll go ahead and do that. Thank you.
Nat, you got another question? What's up? You want to make a call? Turn your camera on, gangster.
Yes. Right now I'm. Can you? Hello. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm at work right now, so I can make calls. But I'd like to make ask you a real quick question. If I find a cash deal in San Diego, would you do that?
Sure.
Okay.
I love that. All day.
Let me make sure. Yeah. Thank you. That's all.
Yep, no problem. All right, guys.
I think we have Pepsi or
Yeah, volunteer Nathan. Nathan wants to do a call.
It's over there in the chat.
Nathan, are you? Let's see.
Yeah, I'm around here somewhere trying to figure this out real quick.
Call me up.
What
There
is
we go.
Nathan?
I can't see myself. Can you guys see me?
Yeah, we can see you, but you got to hold. Are you about to make a live call?
I guess so. Might as well.
You got to hold the phone close to the microphone or wherever that is.
And you might want
Here,
to mute
let's do
us.
this. Want me to do a test run real quick with my wife so I can figure out what the best spot is for my phone?
Sure, let's say hi to your wife.
Bring her on.
Hello, Mrs. Harden.
Trying to make some money.
She's my sugar mama.
Married right.
Hi, babe.
What's up, baby? Hey,
Here.
sorry, we're doing some test runs. Can you guys hear me?
We
Or
got you.
can you hear her?
Yes.
We got her.
Yeah, let her talk.
Gals talk.
Hello.
Hi, Kels.
Can you hear me?
Yep, we're good. We're doing a test run right now. I gotta do a cold call here real quick. I was just using you as my test dummy.
Oh, thank you.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Thanks, I guess.
I thought that was Test Mama.
It sounds like a
Yeah,
very
there you go.
Test mummy.
Mommy.
All right.
Let's do it.
Is there a specific number you guys want me to call?
Call whatever you want, dude.
Okay, well, I've been calling these numbers. This will be my fourth time reaching out to this guy today, but I might as well try.
Love it.
All right. Let me pull it up on my prop stream here real quick so I got all the info.
I have a recorded call. I can play agent to agent. I was training Reynold.
Is that your way of firing me?
No, well, if we don't get a connection, that's the problem. If someone's not expecting your call, then we're going to get dials and answering machines.
Let's see.
All right, here we go. Do I do third?
I would move on to another contact if you've called them now 6 times.
Okay. 512 696. Let me pull this up to my prop stream real quick.
Guys, if you have something to call on, we've given you lists. Get ready to make a call. I want to call on somebody else. Nathan.
All right, let's do it. I tried.
Yeah, let me share this.
What?
Did someone answer?
Nope.
Gary, I unmuted you, bud. There we go. Unmute. Nice. Okay, so no connections.
Nothing.
Yeah,
Mike,
let me share a call. This is a training call I made with, I'm mentoring an agent who is blind, and we're trying to figure out a path for him to make it in the business, and it's really been tough. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share this. And this is 29 minutes into dialing numbers. Just so whoops, I forgot to click the button. I'm going to try one more time. Share sound. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. I'll start. I'm going to, hold the phone up to my mic. All right. It's a good thing I know where this call starts because this thing jumps around. Let's see. I think this is about it.
Hello, Nathan speaking.
Hi, Nathan. This is Gary from Fathom Realty. And
Hi, Gary.
how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Having a decent day here. I was calling about your Bellflower listing, 9735 Rose Street.
Yes.
How come that one's not selling? It looks like such a nice house. Is it because it's on a flag lot, do you think?
I think because there's 3 other homes.
Yeah.
Some of the feedback that I've been getting.
Yeah, well, that's the
That
flag lot.
home is different than the
That one's in our pipeline, by the way, Gary.
people that want to live in Bellflower or Lakewood. They want.
That's
they don't
because
want
you
that
get your
type of
data from
home
me.
That's you have to have an easement to get to the home. So that's some of the feedback that I've been receiving.
Yeah, it's the flag lot problem, huh? Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people get turned off by that. I know that. Question, are they flexible with the price? I mean, I see it's come down a little bit, right?
Yeah, they really are pretty firm with the price, especially at this time of the game. They are pretty firm with it. You have someone that's interested in that area?
Well, here, let me tell you why I'm calling. I represent investors, and I have people that will buy in the area if they can get the right deal. And I also help other agents do things creatively. So that's why I'm calling on this, because I noticed this has a pretty good underlying mortgage. Have you ever heard of unqualified assumptions?
No, I haven't heard of that company.
No, well, no, it's a type of transaction. It's also called subject to. And
Share with me a little bit more about it.
okay, so this is where the buyer comes in and takes over the payments of the existing loan, but it stays in the original borrower's name. I do a couple of these every month, 2 or 3 of them, I'd say every month. So this is right now your clients want their money, and one of the strongest assets about this house is its underlying mortgage, and that might make it worth an investor to buy it for an income property.
Someone else called me. Is this relatively new, or it's been going around for some time?
Well, it's new if you're if you're 30s and less. You know, I'm 66 years old. Back in the 80s, when I got started in real estate, when interest rates spiked at 18%, it was pretty popular. I remember the first multi I bought was 12%. And that was like 1984. And I was thrilled because it was better than 18. But yeah, I mean, it's resurgent and nobody bothers doing them when the interest rates are good. So
And it's called, what's the actual term?
it's called subject to, the other name for it is unqualified assumption, like assuming the loan without qualifying for it. Yeah. So yeah, you're not qualifying it for it. And, you know, in the transaction, we protect the seller. This is kind of my specialty since I'm so old and I know what the hell I'm doing with these. And I have great escrow and title partners that know how to do them, do these transactions with me. Does this sound like something that could interest you to get this moving? Would your sellers be interested, do you think?
I can certainly talk to them. So after this is closed, so the investor, what do they do with the property?
Well, most of them, every once in a
Sell
while,
drugs
I
out
have
of it.
one that wants to live in it, but most of my investors want to rent them and cash flow.
Okay.
You know, it's
Okay.
tough to do that in California, but this house has a pretty good mortgage. What do you think this could rent for?
This is like
It's a really nice
close to
house.
close to 4,000.
I would think, yeah.
No.
Beautiful house. It's a lot of
Yeah.
He's out of his mind.
pretty new.
It shows well. It really does.
Yeah. I think it's probably easier to convince someone to rent it than to buy it right now.
That's correct. Yeah.
So,
Well, can you shoot me an email? I'd like to have you in my contact for other properties that I come across.
okay, well, what about this one? Of course, I'll shoot you an email. I'd love to, you know, I network with other realtors all the time. That's how we get business going in these types of times, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So yeah, I'd be, let's see, is the 3nathan@gmail.com the right one?
That's correct.
3nathan, huh? How come the 3?
Well, there's magic in threes, number one.
Well, it's certainly a lot of balance in 3s, right?
There's a lot of balance in three. My last name is Lee. That's 3 letters. My baseball number when I played baseball was 3. And I like the number 3.
Apparently, yeah. I got that, man, for sure. You know, when I see something like that, I just know there's a story behind it, and I'm going to enjoy the story. I love that story.
Yeah.
That's a great story. Well, maybe you could broach the subject with your sellers.
Yes, I will.
Let's see. What do I show here? I show Ferdinand and Diwa. Ferdinand and Diwa. Huh? Diwa. Okay. Yeah, cool. Maybe you want to talk to them. If you know, I think we're looking at something like they have like low 3s on their Navy Federal Credit Union. Then I noticed they have a second on there.
We actually have a third up as well.
Oh, really?
But yeah, they do.
Well, that's why they're so firm on their price, right?
That's exactly why.
Well, how eager are they to move?
That's the question too, because they even mentioned, Nathan, do you know if you can find an investor that will be willing to rent the house back for 6 months? And I said, oh, that's going to be tough, but I mean, all things are possible.
Well,
So
when did they say that to you? Back when they listed it in May or?
no, they actually said that recently.
Okay, well, if there, what would be the advantage to that for them if the investor said you gotta cover everything?
For everything, cover like what?
Cover the full, all the full expense of the house. They've got three, what's the third mortgage? Is that a HELOC or something?
The second is the HELOC, and the third is a construction lien. Some landscapers, they did some work in the backyard.
How much they owe on that?
Let me pull it up right here.
That sounds
I
like
can just
something
run some-
we just want to get rid of.
Right.
That
I
sounds
can
like
run
they
some numbers.
didn't intend to have that outstanding, right?
No, they did not.
Where do they want to move? They want to stay in the area?
They like the area, they do.
But this one just got a little away from them financially, or?
Yeah, he's in the Navy or was in the Navy for a lot of years. And so okay, so the first is 689. The second is 689. The second is 51,000.
Right.
And the third is 58.
Wow, why is that so big? All right, well, those aren't the original loan amounts. The original loan amount on the, but I'm surprised it's not a VA loan. It doesn't show as a VA loan.
The VA
It
loan.
is a V, all right. it is
Yes,
VA.
with Navy Federal Credit.
Okay. And this just, I have to go into the deed of trust to see that because it's not showing in my system as a VA loan. Usually it'll show that. Well, why don't you talk to them about it and see if they'd be interested in that kind of arrangement? But
Okay.
where are they're going to stay in the area?
They would like to.
So it seems like they just want to downsize. I don't know if this is 100% good opportunity for them or not. It doesn't sound like they're 100% motivated here.
No, the figure is if they can stay there for 6 months, that's the motivation.
Well, they can do that by not selling it, right?
Well, they can do, but the thing is that by selling it will eliminate that debt. That large monthly payment.
Yeah, it looks like they've got the tax lien on here too. But it looks like it may have been from the people that sold it to them.
Yeah, I think that's been resolved.
Oh, it has, good.
Yeah, from the last prelim.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah,
of
that's resolved.
flippers forget that they got to pay that. And all right, guys, 10 minutes is enough. I'm going to cut this. So let me just make some comments here. Let me stop the share. Where's my screen share in here? Here we go. Come on, come up. Oh, it's up here. All right. Let's just talk about this for a minute. So as soon as I heard that they want to stay in the house 6 months, I kind of knew what was going on. That's why I kept poking at, well, why do they want to stay in? They want to stay in the house for less than it's costing them to stay in it now. So, that's an unrealistic expectation. This is actually the way people in foreclosure or pre-foreclosure behave. Do you recognize that behavior, Patrick? I mean, I'm sure you do, James, right? Yeah, right. James is shaking his head here. So I think we're in the state of denial, even though there's no notice of default on this property yet. It's coming. It's clearly coming. And so, notice how it took me a while to get that motivation out there, or lack thereof. So that doesn't, it takes a little bit of a conversation. Anyway, Nathan was a really nice guy. I had a great conversation with him. I think I made a good connection. I'm going to follow up with him probably tomorrow or over the weekend, but I'm not super hopeful that this is going to turn into a deal because I don't think they're motivated enough yet.
Not to mention it's not going to cash flow.
Probably not.
No, it wouldn't cash flow with the first two nodes. I
Well,
didn't even know third.
Yeah, with all the additional notes on there, no, it's probably not. Even though I believe Nathan, the house is very nice, so it'd be easier to rent than it's hard to sell because it's on. Does everybody know what a flag lot is? Does anybody not know what a flag lot is? Put no in the chat.
Most people won't know. Just explain what it is.
Okay, flag lot is a lot where there's one driveway serving multiple houses. They're separate lots. So the lot in front has frontage, but then the back lot, the lot behind it, or lots behind it do not have road frontage. They have shared driveway. So why didn't people not? They're not. It's it's not that they're scared of it. They just don't like it. They got, if you're the front house, you got somebody in your backyard, literally. And then that person has someone in their front and backyard and the rear one. And then, if some knucklehead parks their truck in the driveway and you can't get in, it's a hassle. Unless you got a small freeway going at the size of a driveway, freeway size driveway. So it's like, why do people not like one bath houses? Why do people with kids not want a one bath house? It's a market limiting thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, flag lots suck.
Yeah, I don't have high hopes for it unless that might be a way to sell it to somebody who wants to live in it.
Yeah.
It might be a way to make it more appetizing for somebody who wants to live in it. So maybe what I can turn this into is a transaction fee for helping Nathan do his first creative deal.
Yeah, I don't even think it's gonna cash flow as a Section 8. All right, we have some questions up here. Kevin, let's bring him up.
Yeah, we got a couple here.
What's up, Kevin?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Couple questions. I wanted to go back to what Nate was asking about the conventional loan. Because I had the exact same phone call with the agent this morning, and she was mentioning that all the ones she's done that were assumable weren't conventional. And I told her I'll just talk to my partner and ask the question. Should I submit that as a lead? Because she's into talking to her seller, but she doesn't know if they'll be into it yet, but she was very into it.
Yeah, I mean, I would go back to what we were talking about earlier and call it, a non-qualified assumption. And, feel free to say that we do a lot of these transactions where we create a deed of trust, note and deed of trust, all-inclusive deed of trust with that seller to securitize them. And the mortgage would remain in their name and we would pay it off. So we would pay that mortgage.
Cool. Yeah, I'll call her back. Also, what's your stance on texting agents? Is it better to get them on the phone, a phone call, or is text just as good?
The purpose of a text is to get a phone call.
Okay.
Do not try to negotiate deals or sell anything over text. Every time somebody tries to do that, it explodes in their face.
Yeah.
Text is not person-to-person communication. It's asynchronous.
Yeah, I do remember we want to
be synchronous with somebody when we're trying to sell them, when we're getting down to business. Async is great for, I know you, you know, it's great. Do you have time to talk at 1 o'clock? Is 3 o'clock better? You know, and you know, when you're trying to score a call with somebody, give them options. Do you have 20 minutes Wednesday afternoon? Let's say I got 2 o'clock, or maybe Thursday 1 o'clock is better for you. Give them, don't ask them, can I have a call? Say, are you available Tuesday at 3 or Wednesday at 11 a.m.? You know, what works better for you, mornings or afternoons? You know, that ask them questions they have to answer, not vague, you know.
Yeah, I could put like give them a window, like, does this time work for you between now and then?
Right.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, just one quick one. Closed listings that have the seller or the agent's name still on it, are those worth calling, or is that where you call the actual?
Closed or expired?
It said closed on it when I looked up the address.
If it's closed, if it just closed, then why would you be calling them?
Let me get more specific
Well,
here, because it depends on where you're looking and what you're targeting. If you're on Zillow and you know it's a failed listing, for example, it might show you the last time it closed. Maybe it's in 2021, right? It closed in 2021 in December, but it was actually on market just recently, and then it was withdrawn or failed or whatever, expired. That's going to change what you see on Zillow. What exactly are you referring to? Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, Zillow. So I put I haven't got not privy. I forgot the prop stream that I'm going to get yet. But yeah, some would say sold and some said closed, but still have the agent's information on it. So I was going to call it, but I was like, I don't know if this is like, if they're going to be like, I don't even have this listing anymore. Why are you calling me?
To make contact with the seller, I actually just called on a property that was in La Quinta, Coachella Valley, SoCal, for those of you who aren't familiar with California. And it was a withdrawn listing, but the agent that I actually got a hold of was the person who sold it to a flipper, and then the flipper tried to turn around and sell it. But that agent just so happened to have his contact information, and I would have never got that contact information unless I talked to that agent, because I looked at skip tracing. It wasn't the same number, so it can work. And I actually told that guy, I was like, if I close this, I'm going to wire you $500. You have my word, because he gave me the number. You know what I mean? And I want to like network with people like that. So it just all depends. If it's an expired listing, I might just go straight to the seller. But if I can't make contact with them, yeah, I'll loop in their agent and get them paid on the deal, even if they don't have an agreement.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, nice. Yeah, that works. Thank you for your time.
Yep, of course. All right, 2 more questions here, and then we're going to wrap this up.
Jordan, next up.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
All right. Yeah, thanks for the time. So just going back to Gary's call. So when you brought up how it took time to bring out the motivation or the lack thereof, does that lack of motivation, you know, no matter how great the deal seems, does that lack of motivation kind of kill everything? Because if they're not, you know, motivated in terms of selling it, especially to a creative finance kind of deal, does that just kind of kill everything, like all the momentum you had going towards that deal?
Well, I got a good relationship with Nathan, I think, out of the call, and you know, like I said, I'll follow up with him. But in my guess is that seller is not really motivated, and that's why it hasn't sold. Because first of all, they got themselves in. They're over their heads. Obviously, 50,000 for a landscaping lien. What the hell did you do on a flag lot? What did they do? Put gold leaf concrete on? I don't get it. You know, I have a house. It didn't cost that much to landscape my house. You know, I have 7,000 square foot lot with a 2,650 square foot single story, and I xeriscaped this place when I bought it, and okay, that was 10, 13 years ago. But even if I double it, I'm not at 50 grand. I'm at $50,000 to put a pool in. I didn't see a pool in there, you know, like a little lap pool or something. So I don't know. They've clearly got in over their head. The fact that they want to rent it back it says to me, and again, this is the kind of behavior that we see. I guess we lost James here, but it's the kind of behavior we see with foreclosures. So
Okay.
I think they've got a foreclosure coming.
Okay.
That's my guess, that there's an the notice of default has not dropped. I wouldn't be surprised if they're behind on one of those, or if that landscaping is a mechanics lien that they agreed to pay and they haven't paid. So I think they're trying to get out from under the debt, but they haven't quite reconciled to the fact that they're in trouble yet.
Yeah, they're not motivated, they're reactive.
Right.
Okay.
Right, Patrick, you agree, right? You've made
100%.
enough of these calls, right?
Yeah. And they've gotten themselves in too deep, and now it's not a deal. So they're screwed. They're essentially screwed.
Well,
Okay.
it might be a good deal if I could help Nathan position it with an end buyer. I might be able to help him, but an investor's not going to buy it. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm not going to be able to call, hey, Patrick, you want this one? I already know that it's forget about it, you know? So it's in that investor category. There's no hope for it as an investor. But as an end buyer, some end buyer might go for it. It might, you know, if we could find somebody with a little bit of down and some down payment to cover those second and the third, and just take over the payments on the other and get those people out clean, maybe.
Okay. Okay. And just one more little follow-up. So in terms of, like, let's say the end buyer is an investor, does going off just how many days it's been listed on the market, that's not necessarily a good indication of how motivated the seller is? That would be more of a kind of, that'd be some information you would find out by having a call with the agent or the seller or whoever is representing that deal.
So I'm going to answer this question.
I'm gonna be interested in hear how Patrick answers this.
Yeah, it depends, right? So if it's a cash deal and if it's on market and it hasn't sold in 14 days, they're not motivated. They're either not motivated, there's something wrong with a property that's preventing people from purchasing it, or a combination of those 2 points. Generally speaking, right?
Well, if they're not a motivated seller and they put their house on the market and it sits for 60, 90, 120 days, they're not a motivated seller. They don't have anything motivating them. Now, in this particular house that we just discussed, if they're struggling to make the payments or if they're falling behind, then they will find motivation sooner or later.
Right.
Okay.
And so with the other thing that you have to consider too, and this is something that I discovered and realized after doing like hundreds of these calls, there's another situation too where like access to the property, like if they're on market but there's no access to the property, we don't even regard that as days on market until vacancy, until people can walk the property. That's when we regard it as on market. Why? People make blind offers, they don't accept blind offers, or they're not getting the right offers because there isn't access, so the agent isn't considering those offers, right? So if it's not vacant, or if there's no access, to it, we consider it like, get back to us when we can walk it, and then we'll start the conversation over, right? Now with creative, it's actually the flip, in my opinion. I think with creative deals, if it's 60 days on market and it's not selling, that's when motivation actually kicks in, because they're like, oh shit, interest rates at 8%. I've only got $5,000 of equity. This thing is dated and it's not resale ready. Maybe I'll hear this guy out, right? And that's where the motivation kicks in. So it's all contextual, and it really just depends.
Okay. I apologize. I'm moving Giuseppe up because it's his first call, and we're getting to the end here. But thank you, Jordan. Great question.
Okay, yeah. Appreciate you guys taking time and answer. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Giuseppe.
What's up, bro?
It's gone. Quick question for you guys. So do we need to get privy, or can we use PropStream still for you guys? So I know Pace was saying he wants everybody to get privy as well.
I use both of them in my business. I think they're both great programs. When it comes to comping, I really like Privy just based off of the interface. I can comp real quick with Privy. I also have noticed that Privy has more, it has younger, what am I trying to say here? Younger public record. For example, like sometimes I'm not able to find public record of houses that were built in like 2022, 2023, but I've noticed that Privy has it where PropStream won't. Why I like PropStream more for mortgage and transaction history is it just does more. You can filter by tired landlords, by foreclosures, you can filter by all different types of targets where Privy just doesn't simply do that. So they're both very valuable tools when it comes to finding buyers for cash deals. Nothing beats Privy. That's part of our disposition process in our business right now is using Privy to find qualified buyers when it comes to our cash deals.
And how
So
important is that?
it's everything, really. I mean, you've got nothing unless you've got a buyer, right? If you're wholesaling.
Exactly.
So, yeah, so it's just like people are like, what should I do? They want to decide on one. And I always say the same thing. I use both for different reasons, but like specifically for what we're talking about today, like with creative deals, if you were going to choose one or the other, personally, I would choose PropStream.
Yeah, so that's why I signed up for PropStream. My question is, he said we specifically need Privy to keep coming to these meetings. So for us, if we're going to stay on your team, are we going to be required to get Privy, or are you going to cut us off?
I can't answer that question right now.
That's
Okay.
not up to us. I mean,
Yeah.
if the, I got to be careful what I say here, but
You're here now, right, Giuseppe?
Yeah, well, that's why I was
You're
curious. Because like I like your team. And I'm like, you've gone. I got PropStream, so it's got all the mortgage information, which is obviously great for some too. Privy doesn't have that. So
Yeah, we're unfortunately the communication isn't at full bandwidth right now between us and everybody above us, but we want to help you guys out. So don't worry too much about it, okay?
all right.
Okay, cool, man. Every
all
time I
right.
see Giuseppe, I
Thanks,
want to
Giuseppe. We appreciate you.
one of these days I'm gonna walk into that pizza parlor and get a free pizza.
Oh, is that what that is?
I'll give you a free pizza and a cheesesteak.
Where is that? Where is that pizza place?
Cheesesteak, baby.
Jersey Shore.
Oh, Jersey Shore. Where?
Yeah, Point Pleasant and Bricktown, right where like
I know where Point.
I
I know where Point Pleasant is. Yeah, I grew up in New Jersey, so what exit?
Yeah.
Right? What exit? Giuseppe?
91.
91. Okay. All right. Anybody is like, if you talk to people in Michigan, they go with the hand. I live, but in New Jersey, it's what exit, because what exit on the Parkway are you? Yeah. So that's how everybody measures where you are, where you live in New Jersey. Anyway, okay, guys, any final thoughts here, Mr. Curley?
There's just a couple questions here in the chat that we can cover, and then we can wrap this thing up. So Wally asks, when setting the follow-up with an agent, how many days out? Honestly, Wally, I do a day, 2 days. It depends. I mean, are they going through foreclosure? Are they really motivated? I try to be aggressive. If I've got interest, I'm all over that agent or the seller until I have a signed contract. So that's just my, theory on it. If they tell me to slow down my cadence, then I'll back off a little bit and maybe do once a week. But really, it just depends on the situation. Don't overthink it, but follow-up is extremely important. You want to make sure that you're top of mind when you call them and they remember you. If you listen to Gary's call, he did a really good job of taking time to build rapport. He started talking about flag lots. He mentioned that he's an agent. So they immediately had rapport and something in common. So when he calls Nathan again, he's going to not only pick up his phone, but he's going to have a positive listening of Gary when they have another conversation.
Plus, I knew I'd get a good story out of him when I asked him about the 3, Nathan. Like, who puts the number in front of their name, right? So there had to be, right away, I know there's something going on there. That's something you have to really think about. You look for little things that you can get a good story from them. Little things like that can create, and I go on to, joking about 3 Nathan before I end the call. And I thanked them for sharing the story and how much I enjoyed hearing it. But he had the whole spiel ready, right?
Right. Last question in the chat. For me being 21 years old, is there a different approach to calling and reaching out to agents, or is the approach the same? I think you know that answer, Jordan. That's a limiting belief, and you need to squash that shit today. Okay. Nobody cares how old you are. They just want to do business with you, or they don't. Okay. Follow the script, have confidence when you speak, and you'll be the youngest investor in here kicking ass.
Hey, look, Kevin Cho's 22 years old. He's doing 400,000 or 500,000 a year right now.
There you go.
He's one of the younger people in Sub2, and at 22 years old, he's doing 400,000 to 500,000 a year in assignment fees he's bringing in. So 21, you're just 1 year away from being $500,000 a year revenue, Jordan, if you're smart and you work hard and do things correctly.
100%.
And as Patrick says, most important, confidently.
Yep.
Okay. All right, everybody,
guys.
we're done. We're
Really
good.
appreciate you guys. We will see you on the next one, Monday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 Eastern. Be there or be square. See you guys.
You're square. See you later. Bye.